Ali, Ali. Ali, Ali. I praise the Lord for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank the Lord for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise the Lord for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank the Lord for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise the Lord for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank the Lord for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise the Lord for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank the Lord for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise the Lord for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank the Lord for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise the Lord for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank the Lord for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
Islamism without the schism, want to rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. Want to welcome you to another E.A.R.S class. You know, we give honors to everything it is that is Moorish, but let us call forth our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Dendra Nee Curta Bay, as she may open up the way. Islam.
Islam, family. I am the divine minister, Dr. Dendra Nee Curta Bay. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act 1. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to our national assistant grand chief for hosting this class this morning. And now, let us come forth before you with our ancient comedian adept of Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and your minds as we open up the book. Islam. Ya'anu Haru Mukunetaru. Ya Allah Ebhet Haru. Ya Allah Ma'at Haru. Ya Allah Hotep Haru. Ya Allah Haru. Ya Allah Ma'at Herahuti. Ya Allah Awahuti. Ya Allah Pa'im Saket Pa'im Haru. Ya Allah Ba Mahuti. Hedget Sepsis Ray up to Ali. Amen. Alisa. And that is to say in transliteration, family, O Allah, the Father of the universe, O Allah, the Father of love, O Allah, the Spirit of truth, O Allah, the Spirit of peace, O Allah, the Spirit of freedom, O Allah, the Spirit of justice, O Allah, you are my protector, O Allah, you are my God. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, O Allah, Ju Ali. Holy Issa, Holy Issa, Holy Issa. Now let us come forth before you with our divine constitution of Moorish America, salvation, our God, and unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and a parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folk, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendant of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish America must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Now, this meeting has been open according to Act 2, the Circle 7, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We will have our National Grand Secretary of State to read our chapter of the week. Islam.
Gratitude. Islam family, first of all, this is Dr. Hatshepsut Tutankhamun Bey, National Grand Secretary of State, rising, giving praises to Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Nia Kurtabay, for opening our meeting according to law. Also giving honor to our scribes online, our family online, and also to our host instructor, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedawa Menti El Mohedjed Shepsuel. I'll be reading chapter 19, the ministry of John the Harbinger. John the Harbinger returns to Hebron, lives as a hermit in the wilds, visits Jerusalem, and speaks to the people. It came to pass when John, the son of Zacharias and Elizabeth, had finished all his studies in the Egyptian schools, he returned to Hebron, where he abode for certain days. And then he sought the wilderness and made his home in David's cave, where many years before he was instructed by the Egyptian sages. Some people called him the hermit of Engedi, and others said he is the wild man of the hills. He clothed himself with skins of the beasts. His food was carobs, honey, nuts, and fruits. When John was 30 years of age, he went into Jerusalem, and in the marketplace he sat in silence 7 days. The common people and the priests, the scribes and the Pharisees came out in multitudes to see the solid hermit of the hills, but none were bold enough to ask him who he was. But when his silent fast was done, he stood forth in the midst of all and said, Behold, the king has come. The prophets told of him. The wise man long have looked for him. Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king. And that was all he said. And then he disappeared, and no one knew where he had gone. And there was great unrest through all Jerusalem. The rulers heard the story of the hermit of the hills, and they sent couriers forth to talk with him, that they might know about the coming king, but they could find him not. And after certain days he came again into the marketplace, and all the city came to hear him speak. He said, Be not disturbed, you rulers of the state. The coming king is no antagonist. He seeks no place on earthly throne. The eyes of men shall see it not, and none can enter but the pure in heart. Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king. Again the hermit disappeared. The people strove to follow him, but he drew a veil about his form, and men could see him not. Jewish feast day came. Jerusalem was filled with Jews and proselytes from every part of Palestine. And John stood in the temple court and said, Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king. Lo, you have lived in sin. The poor cry in your streets, and you regard them not. Your neighbors, who are they? You have defrauded friends and foe alike. You worship Allah with voice and lip. Your hearts are far away and set on gold. Your priests have bound upon the people burdens far too great to bear. They live in ease upon the hard-earned wages of the poor. Your lawyers, doctors, scribes are useless cumberers of the ground. They are but tumors on the body of the state. They toil not, neither do they spin, yet they consume the profits of your marts of trade. Your rulers are adulterers, extortionists, and thieves, regarding not the rights of man. And robbers ply their calling in the sacred hills. The holy temple you have sold to thieves. Their dens are in the sacred places set apart for prayer. Hear, hear, you people of Jerusalem, reform. Turn from your evil ways, or Allah will turn from you. And heathen from afar will come, and what is left of all your honor and your fame will pass in one short hour. Prepare, Jerusalem, prepare to meet your king. He said no more. He left the court, and no one saw him go. The priests, the doctors, and the scribes were all enraged. They sought for John, intent to do him harm. They found him not. Now, at this time, we want to turn the meeting back into the hands of our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shedo Amenti Almohedjid Shepsuel. Saul?
Islam. And gratitude, Scribes, for opening up the way. Give me 1 second, Moorish kin. I'm trying to pull up one portion. 1 second. Well, I guess I got to. That's all right. Islam. Let us rise upon the seven within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God, Allah, Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything, and I do mean everything, that our holy prophet brought to exhume us as a nation. We want to welcome you to another E.A.R.S, we say session, Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate session. I am your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imaniya Mohadi Shabazil. My ancient committee and high name is Dr. Shedwa Mintiel Mohajid Sheptuel. And we have a powerful drawing to bring forth to our Moorish kin, most definitely. So this is actually still dealing with the Grand Quran. This is our 7th session, and we will be covering the 99 attributes when we go into this special drawing to expand our vocabulary, so to speak, and allow us to become more familiar with the Arabic, and all these particular drawings, most definitely aid and assist us in what it is that we are here to demonstrate, so to speak. So we encourage our family to most definitely tune in to what it is that we had to bring forth. And this is going to be a powerful measure, and our family will learn a lot from this. This is one of the best ways to go into the drawing, by being able to learn the Arabic. You can even learn it through the 99 names if you go into this measure properly. So we're going to get into it in a second. I was trying to pull up some other documentation because we want to be able to make sure that our family can get the grand insight of this. But yeah, it's going to be a grand drawing. Yeah, no doubt about it. So the 99 names, for those who may not be familiar, are the names that have been mentioned in the Grand Quran in reference to dealing with some of the characteristics that the great God Allah expresses really through us, in order for others to bear witness to his presence, in his workings, so to speak. The 99 attributes, in all actuality, we are the ones who actually embody these attributes so that people may bear witness, to the workings in the presence of the great God. And when we come into a clear conception of that, we will be able to accomplish, a whole lot as a result of the knowledge of the attributes of Allah. And this brings us into a grand drawing that brings us out of the realm of what some people like to call a spooky thought pattern. Because many of our people think that, these things are, that it's just something you recite and, you can't really go into the essence of it and demonstrate it as it truly is. Some of our people think that, and nothing can be further from the truth. So we are here to bring our people into the clarity of everything, and we are dealing with the language. So what better way and bringing our people into, that clarity than going the way that we are going right now. It don't get no plainer than this. You see, it don't get no plainer than this. So we are most definitely here to bring our people into the knowledge from our perspective. And the reason being that we have to do it this way, because we were not put here to think with that of Arabia. That's not what we were put here for. It's nothing against Arabia, so to speak, as far as dealing with people, because we don't teach demarcated thought patterns and, racism and, supremacy and all that type of stuff there. We just giving you the history. And when we say that we are not thinking with Arabia, we understand that just because the Arabic language was used, as a vessel, so to speak, because it was used as a vessel, doesn't make the Arab superior, because the dialect that was given was not the same as the dialect that they speak when it comes to dealing with what they call modern standard Arabic. You see, and so we always make that disclaimer, so to speak, so that our people understand that we're not trying to Arabize them. That's not what we are here to do. We're not here to basically try to take our people into the realm, of anything outside of what the great God Allah revealed. We honor, Prophet Muhammad. We honor him in his physical form as he manifested to his people. And we also honor him, in his spirit form, more so over than anything, the one that we refer to as Muhammad al-Nur, so to speak. The Muhammad that actually existed from the beginning with all of us. You see? So once we understand that's a grand drawing right there in and of itself, Moorish King. And we won't be getting caught up into all the isms and the schisms, as our Grand National Chairman would tell us. So we got some grand drawings. And we got a lot of ground that we're going to cover today. And we're going to actually do this openly when it comes to dealing with our scribes. We're going to have them in participation as well, where ones can ask questions, and that way we can further advance. And we'll see how we are able to utilize the attributes again, to take this demonstration into a greater aspect that serves us, as a nation, like I said, to make us more familiar with the actual language of the Grand Quran, because the attributes, are mentioned there first, you see. And so once we understand that right there, and we can push that out there to the masses, then like I say, we can cover a whole lot when it comes to teaching the people, let's just say. So make no mistake about it, we here to teach the people. We're not here to mislead or misguide. We here to teach the people. So what I'm gonna do, I'm getting ready to share my screen here. Just trying to put our little banner up here on the bottom that I normally have. Let's see, we're gonna do it like this. Okay. And this will, once I do that, we'll be good to go. Oh man. Boy, I tell you, you go to type it. I'm over here typing one thing, Moorish kid, and this thing done jumped in the middle of the sentence and started typing in the middle of the sentence. What in the world is going on with these crazy apparatuses? Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I got that right there in the right area. Okay, yeah, that's good right there. That is sufficient. Now we can go back here, post the banner. Okay, there we go. That's it right there. Okay, now we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to share my screen. And like I said, we're going to be going back and forth with this here. And like I said, it's going to be an open forum. This is very important. Okay, I'm going to just share the entire screen. Okay. Okay, do that there. Let me cut all these little videos out of here that ain't everything up here, because we don't want nothing impeding our process. Okay, there we go. All right, can y'all see that, Moorish King? Can y'all see the screen? My screen sharing yet? I ain't putting nothing up here yet.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we can go here and show you exactly where, you know, we can find mention of this, because that's the thing too. When we deal with information, we always want to be able to make, you know, reference, you know, and show exactly what it is. And so let's go to Surah 20, and we are going to Quran.com. I love this little website because it's real simple, and it got all the tools that we need to utilize it. And if we come here, it says Allahu la ilaha illa huwa laha la asama. You see, and then al-usa, you know, and this is basically dealing with al-asama al-usa. Sometimes we say al-asama al-usafa, you know, the beautiful names of Allah. You know, Allah, there is no God but He. That's what it says, La ilaha illahua, right there. La ilaha illahua. We always hear the statement, La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. But this is La ilaha illahua. Illahua. You see? And remember, Hua is the same thing that is connected to the word Yahuwah, which is often used mostly by the Sufi adepts. You know, Hua, like I said, it means he, but in the Hebrew, we know Hua, you know, is synonymous with the word Yahweh. You know, you hear people say Yahweh instead of Yahweh. You know, they are most definitely connected. So this is a strong word, and we know that this word also goes back to ancient Kemet in the form of Huhi, because the Y, you know, is interchangeable with the letter I. You see what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother measure. And we actually done that breakdown, you know, on numerous occasions, so to speak. You know, so this is, yeah, indeed a grand drawing, family. Husna, al-asma husna, al-asma husifa, you know, some people say. You see? And actually that's al-husna, the way they put it there. You see the A. Let me put this here. I want to go Now, and for those who don't know, this word right here is key too. When it says the names, most beautiful, let's see. Husna, right? This Asma. And this is very important, you know. And remember I said la ilaha, right? Ilahua. You see? That's it right there. So when you see what we have here, there even in that, some of the Moors already might be familiar with the Hua. We know we're familiar with the term Allah, and Husna, it's something you just hearing, but this is very important. This is a very powerful ayat right here, Moorish King. Let me see something. I never tried that. Oh, it don't. Yeah, but yeah, this is very important. You see? And that's something easy to memorize too. Like ilaha ilahua, la el asma husna, just like that right there. And you say that over and over, you can remember that. But this is dealing with, the names of Allah. And we're gonna get deeper into that in a minute. I want to touch on the word here, sama, because this is the same word that the word ism in Arabic is rooted in. You see? So when we say ism, and you often hear me say, in the English, it means to practice, the practice of Islamism. That's what Islamism is. It's the practice of, if you're looking at the ISM that's added on to it in English, but in the Arabic, this is not only defined as the word name, but it goes deeper. And we'll show you that right here. This is the word that's being used here. In fact, we're going to show it to you here. You see this right here, the sama, and they're showing you the root right here in the Arabic. See the S, the M, and the A here? You see? And they have it being demonstrated in various different forms. This is one that's closer to, its original, because you see we'll say where they have taken most of the diacritics out in this root. And you see Samal here. You see the diacritical marks above it. We know that's the U. That's Sumu. And you can see it here. They have a letter Y here. Yasumu. Yasumu. That's what that is. But this is the main root. Sama. SMA, so to speak. You see? Now notice the definition. Remember, it said names in the one area. Here, it actually says to be high, to be raised, lofty, name. Now, we often refer to our names as high names. And this is referring to it because it has attributes to it. Most of the names that we have received in the West, when it comes to the names that we have been given, they wasn't given to us from the standpoint, of a divine appointment. They were actually given to us, oh, that sounds good. So you got, people that even name their seeds after cars and, Mercedes and Lexus and y'all know what I'm talking about. Some people like to call them ghetto baby names, and I wouldn't say that, because if that's what somebody named they see, that's what they named them. However, they didn't have the knowledge, that we have now. Most of our people lost that knowledge. So, unless they have some consciousness, like I was able to name, put, Al Aziz, in my nephew's name, like my son placed the attribute that I gave him in my grandson's name, Hassan, because that was his attribute. you know, so he placed that in my grandson's name. And so they can see a connection. And this is very important because when they look around and find out, oh man, this is a name that actually has meaning to it. You know, my nephew always receive compliments, al mohadis, from a lot of the teachers in the West on his name. You know, and they like, he gonna be a leader one day. He's gonna be a great leader. His name, listen to his name. And you know, I just say praise be to Allah, but his name, you know, is very uncommon, so to speak, to the West, but very common to our people in the homeland. You know, and the root of the name is actually al muwahidun. You see, al muhadis is actually, you know, a more modern way of saying it, but the al muwahidun at the root represent the Moors who brought about unity. They were known as the Moors of the mountains. You know, the Atlas Mountain to be exact, in the realm of Mauritania. You know, so there's some history on that right there. In the same area they like to call, you know, the Rakat structure. You know, where they said that Atlantis, and we have proven that Atlantis existed. You know, but the Alamo Hadis were those who were the Unitarians, the ones who were to unite, you know, basically not only the Moors but Islam. And so that's why I chose that as an attribute in my name. However, the majority of my name, for example, was given by other people, so to speak. You know, the teachers, it actually was given in portion. Shaheed was given to me by my first enlightener on Islam, you know, and then, like I said, Al Mohadis was one I chose myself. You know, Shabazz was given to me, you know, by also an enlightener, you know, and the L, you know, most definitely came from me being who I am in the Moorish American government. The L actually was, you know, also given to me by the same person who gave me Shabazz. Only different, it was El Shabazz, you see. And so me being that I already had it, I placed the L on the end, you see. So that's a whole nother measure right there. But I'm just saying, all of that has meaning to it. If we understand the meaning, Shaheed means the witness, one who bears witness to the truth, even, you know, before it is revealed. Also, it means one who will die for the truth, you know, martyr, so to speak. You know, Allah said that, you know, one day he will raise up a shaheed from every people, a witness, and they won't have an excuse once he raised one up. You know what I mean? So I always take honor in that in and of myself, you know, and I tell people that, you know, we ain't demonstrating no prophetic degrees and trying to be no more than what we are. We just take pride in being a witness of Allah. You know what I mean? So we give honor to the brother for giving me that attribute. You know, and the only reason he gave it to me is because he would be teaching at times, you know, and I would basically be speaking to him based upon what he was preparing, you know, and he was like, man, like, I know you've been reading my stuff. And I hadn't read his information, but I was saying things, you know, that he had intended to speak upon, you know, and I learned throughout my life, you know, when I would meet people as well, even after that and before it, that often, you know, what I would bring forth unknowingly, you know, until they told me, I would bring forth measures that confirm what they had been studying. You know, it would be a confirmation of what they were looking for, even when it came to myself. And so that's why you hear me say, I don't read, you know, for information. I read for confirmation, you know. But yeah, so that's a grand aspect, you know. And like we gave you the definition of al mohadis, you know, and not to mention Imani, Shaheed Imani al-Mohadi Shabazz El. The Imani actually was a Kwanzaa name, which is actually the word Imani is Arabic too, you know, because Swahili is an admixture. You know, that Imani represented being faithful. You know what I mean? But it was definitely a Kwanzaa name because it was 7 of us, you know, in my house, so to speak, and all of us had, you know, a name. You know, all of us took one of those Kwanzaa attributes, so to speak, as a name. All of my seeds, and yeah, like I said, the Al-Mohadis comes after that. You know, that means unitary, and then Shabazz, you know, means, you know, king of falcons. You see, it means king of falcons, white falcon. That's the true definition of the name Shabazz. And it also goes into the name, number, it represents the number 7. It represents, in its root, we know Shabazz actually comes from the root Seb. You know, Seb was actually the father of Al-Sar, the earth deity. A lot of people don't know that. Al-Sar, you know, was the father of Heru. Heru was represented by a falcon, right? So the king of falcons would actually be Al-Sar. You see? But it's a whole bunch of information we can go into just dealing with the history of that. You know, in fact, it also represented, you know, the Shemsu Hor, you know, the people that settled in the Nile Valley civilization, you know, and set up the kingdom. It was the Shemsu Hor of Kemet. But that name has went through various different germinations, you know, in the Persia and so forth and so on. And then we had the version that was brought forth by our brother Elijah Poole Bey, you know, but Shabazz was indeed a real people, unbeknownst to many. And like I said, you already know El means creator. So we're giving examples on just in my name and many of your names, we got meaning behind them. But then we have an ancient Comedian high name, you know, and it's really Kemetic variation of the name that we already have. At least, you know, mine is, you know, and so but you know, the Comedian aspect goes, you know, even deeper into certain aspects, because Shabazz also means noble. You know, and the term Shabazz in Kemetic term is Shepsu. You see, Shepsu. You know, because the B is interchangeable with the P. You see, but it means noble. And it's also a part of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's name, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, Sharif Shepsis Ray. You see what I'm saying? So Noble Drew Ali. But anyway, yeah, so when we get into these names and we deal with this term Sama or Asama, you know, these are the lofty names or attributes of Allah. And we are able to embody the attributes. Now, a Muslim, no, we don't take the definite article, so to speak, you know, and add that in when we exercise utilizing these attributes. You know, you don't say, you know, that you are Al Salam or Al this or Al that. You know, you just say that you are Salam. You see, because to say that you are Al Salam, you know, would be incorrect, because now you are basically claiming that you are the supreme reality, and nothing can be further from the truth. Now we, through deific tie, link our wills up with the will of the great God Allah, you know, and then we are able to express, you know, being conduits of manifesting those attributes. And then when we are able to manifest the attribute, this is what we are actually tapping into the saving power, power that exerts itself for the individual at the will of their use, so to speak. We can put it in that expression. So this is samawat right here. Samawat is a term that's actually used for the heavens. You see, this is actually the word for heaven. So the samawat, the heights of the heavens, rain and clouds. They even use that terminology. They putting all of those together when they refer to the Samawat. This actually goes back to Genesis when it talks about the 7 firmaments. You know, they would be referred to as the Samawat. Samawat, right? So we can look at the esoteric aspect and say, well, the heavens represent what's above the net. You know, this is the chamber. You see, second, you know, Allah, you know, is it referred to in the Kemetic term. But, you know, this is your third heaven. This is above your neck. You see? Yeah, just like we got rain that come down out of the heaven, you know, we able to rain that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding upon our people coming from a heavenly state of mind too. And rain is also synonymous with mercy. You know, it preps the soil, so to speak, for what is to come forth in fruition. And we can look at that from a macrocosmic and a microcosmic standpoint. But we want to stick to going into the word. So then we have the word coming from the same root, ismun. So if you isolate the U and the N from this, you see ism here. But this is ismun, which means mark or identification by which one is recognized. Are we not recognized by our distinguished concept of Islamism? You see, are we not, you know, recognized for being who we are? But it says it is a derivative of wasm, you know, and wasm, you know, also going here in plurality as asma, you know, and we spoke on that earlier. It says ism, and this is the Arabic. See it here, the ISM, ism. This is what we substitute at this level. It's just like going from the general laws to the supreme laws. You know, under the general laws, Islamism was just the practice of. But under the supreme laws, if, you know, you're dealing with Islam and you add the Arabic ism to that, instead of dealing with the English ism, then it stands for a distinguishing mark, again, of a thing which is our version of Islam. But in the view of the learned, it sometimes signifies its reality. So not only is the Islamism that we demonstrate our version, you know, based upon that distinguishing mark, but it is actually the true reality, the Islamism that we teach, because we have also understood through studying the Grand Quran that our school of thought is that of the Sibagatala. And we're going to get into, you know, that, because that's very important as it relates to the attributes, because it deals with the moral code that has been embedded in us. You know, when it says in the Grand Quran, we take on the hue or the color of Allah in the English, that is referred to, or sometimes they say the baptism of Allah. You know, and this is not talking about, like I tell our people all the time, slam ducking your head behind no altar, you know, talking about in Jesus' name and putting the cross on your forehead. You know, that is not the baptism of Allah, you know, because these are different translations. Some say, you know, the baptism of Allah. Some say the color of Allah. Some say the hue of Allah. But we know Allah don't have a physical color, you know, like we have, because Allah don't have the melanin. Yeah, our arm, leg, arm, head in representation of Allah represent, you know, the melanated aspect. We're talking about the supreme reality, though. Supreme reality don't have all of those human traits, you know, that we have, you see? So,
Islam partner said, God, man, the goddess is backstage, Islam.
Okay, gratitude. I'm glad you told me, because I couldn't even see her, and I don't know how long she's been sitting back there. If she's been sitting back. Pardon self, Grand Secretary of State. You know we ain't having you sitting in no backstage.
Gratitude,
No,
all as well.
Gratitude, Islamism. We always want you front row with the other scribes. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, when we get into the aspect of this term, ism, and a lot of Moors, I believe, have overlooked this, as many times I done pointed this out. So when you hear me say Islamism, I'm not using the westernized form when they refer to Islamism the way they do, because they have different words and meanings that are not conducive to what we represent when we say Islam. They make Islamism be something negative, like some Wahhabism or something. So like I said, that's what these things represent. And like I say, Sebagatullah represent us taking on the attributes and expressing the moral code of Allah. Sebagatullah, why do I claim that as what represent us, in the Grand Quran? Because, it was practiced by the ancient Sabians, and their concept of what we call immersing one into the divine mysteries, which also they dealt with symbolic cleansing rites with water, was called Sebagatullah. You see, and water is synonymous with knowledge. So, that's why you hear me often lay claim to that, as our school of, not only the reality of Islam, but also the mysticism is tied in there. You see, so rather than claim a particular tariqat, of Sufism, under this aspect of Sibagatullah, which is not an official tariqat that one has created or represented. So we claim that because it comes directly from what Allah has revealed. Every other different tariqat or path that deals with Sufism, most of them come from the name of the man who is the founder. It might be the Qadriya order, the Jahili order, different orders of Sufism, but they come from who the master teacher was, basically. Just like martial arts, some of those things, they come forth from the master teacher that taught them, the names. However, we have embraced and chosen, the Sebagatullah concept. Not only does it refer to the Sabians, but we have to know who the Sabians are. They are the ancient Kushites. This is who Muhammad studied with, the Sabi'un Hunafa. They were the ones who practiced Sebagatullah, even though the Arabs don't teach this. This is not a doctrine amongst Arab Islam, because they don't really want you to know that Prophet Muhammad was melanated. That's a whole nother level. So, in this drawing, and this has become developed as we have moved along. Like I say, our form of, if you want to call it a Sufi path, would be Sebagatullah. It would be that which come from Allah. Like I say, the baptism of Allah. We ain't dealing with no water being dumped in it. We're talking about taking on the hue of Allah, taking on his attributes. You see, by expressing them as a reality. So, I just want to make that plain, because we can't use the hammer repetition enough, because we want to make sure our people get exactly what we're saying. We don't want to be over nobody's head. That ain't nothing we never intend to do, but we got to speak the language of many different ages for the elders, the middle age, and the babies. So everybody can get a portion that's meant for them. And if you didn't comprehend something, it wasn't meant for you to get it at the time. Either you have to mature and grow into it, you see, you may already be there. You see, but studying it will manifest itself. But it said it also means name, as we seen when I showed it to you in Quran.com. It means name and attribute, right? It says in the Holy Quran, the formula Bismillah, and you can actually see the ism in the Bismillah. It is used in both senses. Now, it says in the name of Allah. So the ism that's in the middle, that's the root from whence the word name is actually coming in. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah. So if you see ism in any word, more than likely you're going to see a connection to, the concept of dealing with name. You see? And the name of Allah is not like the names that we've been given. Some names that we even like to refer to as slave names. That's a whole nother measure in and of itself in conversation as well. It is used in both senses. It refers to Allah, which is the personal name of the Almighty. And it refers to Al-Rahman, the most gracious, Al-Rahim, the ever merciful, which are his attributes, right? It says, according to some authorities, as Rahim, the word Ism is a derivative of SMW, right? It says, and it means to be high and raised. So when we talk about Islamism, we're not just dealing with the exoteric, teachings or the outer aspects of dealing with just the law alone. We are dealing with the lofty teachings of Islam, which is often referred to as tasawwuf, which is actually the word, Sufism is rooted in that, but tasawwuf. So we teach the versions that deal with purification of the heart. That's what Sufism is represented by. The mystic teachings or mystic dimensions of Islam. You see? But it says, and it means to be high and raised. So, and then we even talk about the lofty teachings in our Moorish Holy Quran. You see? Lofty. It says to me, high and raised. Why are teachings lofty in the first place? Well, let's look at the attribute of Allah, that was actually seated in the name of our holy prophet, Ali. His name is Ali, not Al-Ali, but Al-Ali is one of the attributes of Allah. It means to be high. It means to be exalted. It means to be, raised and elevated. So our holy prophet was the most, elevated amongst us. So we say wisdom speaking from out of the highest plane of spirit life. So he was able to raise us up, into infinite wisdom. You see? He couldn't do that unless he was there, elevated. So yeah, that's a portion of the prophet's name. But it says in the wording, Bismillah, the name of Allah possess these characteristics, as he is the very apex of beauty, love, and beneficence, the most gracious, the ever merciful. See, it's one thing to be gracious, but Allah is the most gracious. It's one thing to be merciful, but Allah is most merciful. Because where Allah, is merciful, always aiding us and sustaining us, man, in their expression, and woman, so to speak, they only merciful to a certain degree. Even in the path of wisdom, a lot of times, they're going to be merciful, but to a certain extent, they got limitations on how merciful they're going to be. They got limitation on different aspects of it. That's why you can't call them the most gracious. Now, if one would like to raise themselves up to, being able to express being the most gracious, that attribute, then that's the choice of the individual. But one say, I'm going to be ever merciful. But how many people thinking like that? You know what I mean? Allah is the only one that ever merciful. But if we are in the realm of Sebagatala, to be truthful, if you immerse yourself, in this attribute or these attributes in plural, this knowledge, if you choose to work like that right there, that's a grand goal to obtain, because you will literally be, we'll say it like this. You'll literally be the expression of what we call spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. But if you still got reservations and, you holding back on your mercy, then you got work to do. If you holding back on your grace, then you still got work to do. Ain't nothing wrong with still having work to do. You see what I'm saying? It's just limitations that we have when it comes to dealing with the human body. That's why We are taught that man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. The truth in you is to express to the greatest degree these attributes. But the falsehood in you have you thinking on a manifest level. Nah, I ain't gonna give my all, because I'm gonna lose something. No, I ain't gonna go all the way in, So these are human limitations. You see what I'm saying? So like I say, man, is gonna only demonstrate, these things to a certain degree, and then they cap off. Whereas Allah, is everlasting, and he's gonna constantly sustain us, and shower us with his love, his blessings, but the human being, they'll hold back. So anyway, it says the word wasmian is also derived from ism, and it means first spring rain, right? They call the earth Arzun Musawamatan. It says, and you see the word samawat there. When the first spring rain falls on it, it says, and because it is flowering pleases the heart of the cultivators. And it says also the word mismoon. It says it's derivative. It says, and it means beauty and good looks, part itself. Wasama, to brand, stamp, mark, describe, depict, surpass in beauty, vie in beauty. Wasam, I was telling y'all about a clothing line, and I showed that to y'all before. The clothing line, Al-Wasam. Somebody actually used that to establish a clothing line back in the day, and they had some pretty good stuff. And they still doing their thing right now. Al-Wasam. I showed that to our family. It was a Muslim brand. But they had a lot of cultured stuff in Al-Wasam as well. It says to bear the impress of beauty. Wasam, beautiful. Wasam, the title of a book. Wasama, beauty. You see, Asama Wasifa, beauty of the face. The Arabs use Wasam and its derivatives generally in a eulogistic sense. It says whether relating to worldly welfare or spiritual well-being. So one used this word, as it represents beauty. What makes Allah's names beauty is that he can stand behind them. He can allow you to see these things become manifest. That is beautiful. Or what we used to call, in my youth circle, a vision beautiful. But it states to vie in glory, tasama, to claim relationship, samawat, figure seen, from afar, good repute. So this is talking about character. Then it goes back to the root sam, which means high, lofty, sublime, right? Musaman, right? Which means fix. That's another thing. We talk about, being solving the fix. Well, when something is fixed, then the fix is solved. Ain't that beautiful? Simeon. Also that's from determine, self-determination, namesake, compare. And so then it go into various different words that are used. This is dictionary of the Quran. So these are all words that are used throughout the Quran, and they use the plurality. They use the personal, aspects of it, referring to the third party and so forth and so on, such as Sama, he name, Samaitu, which is name, I name. Samaitum, which means you have name. Yusum, Yusumun, pardon self. Yusamuna, properly stated. This means they name. So you see the sum or the asam or the usam at the root of the name. So this lets you know that this is dealing with the name in some way, whether I name, you have name, they have name. Samu, you name. Samaun, this is heaven again. The higher or the highest or the upper or uppermost part of anything. So that's above your neck. But that's another measure, though. Samawat, we said that earlier, heavens. Ismun, name or attribute. So if someone asks you, what is your ismun? What is your ismun? This is your attribute. Remember, I spoke on asma, ismun and asma, connection to each other. Samiyan, right? Like computer again, peer. This is your peer. Tasami atun, kasami atun. Given names. Musaman, again, musaman, name, one fixed, stipulated, right? And so it goes on, and they show that the root in itself, with its above form, has been used in the Holy Quran over 381 times. That's a grand draw in and of itself. So before we move forward, with going further into this measure to get into the attributes, we want to open up the floor and see if our scribes have anything that they would like to bring on the manifest. Questions or comments, anything? Islam?
Islam.
Islam, Grand National Secretary of State.
Islam, Dr. Shaheed, this is very beautiful. It's always a blessing. Having already risen, given praise and honor we're due. It's always a blessing to be able to go into a word, to be able to break it down and see the root and see the connection of all the other words built upon it. And also, when you were speaking about a strong word, being able to see the correlation in Hebrew and also ancient Kemet. So this is a powerful measure, gratitude.
And gratitude to you for the measure, Grand Secretary of State. Islam. What about our other scribes? What input, questions, or anything you had to bring? That brother Body Bay?
Islam.
Islamism, brother.
First, I'd like to rise and give our man of praise to Allah, honors to the Prophet, honors to our theocratic government, our royal council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our swift angels, mufti, citizens alike, honors to all the Moors that are in attendance and sounding my voice. Honors to you for this class and scribes on the panel. The thing that I like about and that was kind of one of the things that kind of the very thing that I enjoy about this lesson is the reason why it was hard for me to want to attack learning another language, because one word could mean so much, you know what I'm saying? And in that, the misinterpretation of a word can throw a whole one word can throw a whole sentence off, but it can also enhance, your a person's understanding once you get into it. And this is also how, for those that don't do research, this is how your research begins. You start off with a word and you break down the word to see what this genre of or this science school of thought uses this word for, and then it'll go off and fragment into other portions of understanding, and it will build your understanding, and it will build the people's understanding that you are trying to educate, and it allows you to get a way deeper measure of the expression, so to speak. So that lives a common piece.
And gratitude for the measure, brother. We give honors to you for that. Yes, sir. That's all it takes. One word. And once we learn one word, it continues to allow us to unfold into many other aspects, of other drawers. And that's why we're using, these 99 attributes somewhat like bricks to aid us in understanding Arabic. So if we study like the things that we studied previously in the last 6 sessions, you know, and ones utilize that information, you know, they're going to become more stronger in the Arabic. Now, all of our scribes now have the knowledge already, not only to teach our people properly where this language come from, you know, we can teach them the true origins, you know, of the Arabic, which you won't hear in, you know, the classes that are given by those in Orthodox Islam. You know, they won't tell you where, you know, the Arabic language originated from. We have all that information in background. That's the last language that settled in the Nile Valley civilization, and that's still present there right now. You know, but they don't tell you that this is coming through, you know, as far as the modern standard version, you know, Egyptian Arabic. But true Egyptian Arabic, you know, was really Mudar. You know, and once you had a knowledge of that, all you got to do is study the teachings of Ibn Khaldun, who was a, you know, a grand man, Moorish philosopher and teacher, historian. You know, go into his work, the Mukaddima, you know, and he breaks down, you know, exactly where the language come from. You talk about the Cushites and so forth and so on. But that's neither here nor there. Let us call on our next scribe. Islam, Sister Curtis Bay.
Islam, Dr. Denjania Curtis Bay. Don't have no question just as of yet. But as always, I thoroughly enjoyed and listening to, you know, listening to the class and digging, you know, tracing our words back and going through our dictionary and getting the, you know, understanding the root, and like you say, how we can trace, we have what we call strong words, and we can trace those words back. And also just dealing with, I loved it when you was pointing out to our people, because I get a lot of slack when I be talking about what we may be doing in our E.A.R.S class, and I'm told that they come against the Arabic and the Arabic language, and not realizing that when you do your research, like you just said, they don't even tell you about how Muhammad come from the Cushite tribe. And so, like you said, that Arabic, that's our language. We're not trying to Arabize anybody. When you do your research and you go back, you'll find out that this come from us. And when you think about it, and then there again, when I think about how we gave the languages to the world, so if we gave the languages to the world, then it had to come from us. And we can't help who then jumped in there now and trying to, how you put it, say they are the originators of it. But we're here to share the truth and let you know where it really came from. And even in our Moorish Holy Quran, you know, I think it's in chapter 60 something, or one of our chapters, it say, it tells us, don't think as the Arabs do, you know. And so gratitude, God, man, for this class, enjoying every bit of it. Like I say, don't have a question as of yet. Now I probably will though. Islam, gratitude, peace and love.
Islam, gratitude and peace and love to you. Unfortunately, you know, that is due to a lot of the short-sightedness of the average person that researches, because they will go by what Wikipedia says, or they will grab the first book they read and not even understand, you know, the angle that this information is coming from. You see, people have to understand there's always a thesis and an antithesis when it comes to reading information. So every book ain't gonna agree with the same historical backing, so to speak, because there may be two opposing views. So one view on the Arabic language may get a history of coming straight from the Arabs. And on the other hand, the other view will go back to the original source, from whence it comes. And that's in every piece of literature you read. And unfortunately, some of our people are so short-sighted to where they may grab a book that's coming straight from the source that only deals with what the Arabs say. And of course, they're going to push the thesis they push, and they ain't going to push what the antithesis is saying. You know what I mean? Because each one of them become a thesis and an antithesis. And so this is how people fall by climbing when it comes for information. So, then you have outright propaganda out there. So these people grab the first book they read, and they think because it has a cover and it's bound, that whatever they read in that book, that's what it is. And they make their mind up that that's what they are only willing to accept. So when somebody come at them with other information outside of the books that they read, basically they dumbfounded. And rather than admit what it is, that you are bringing them that they didn't know, they'll rather push, the line and act like you don't know what you talking about. See, that's what's going on in the whole conscious community. If you really want to know, what it is. So it's the sources that they read, and half of them remain vetting what it is that they read. But see, we have a vetting process over here when it comes to the information. We ain't dealing with selective hearing and selective research. And that's why you have a lot of that opposition, sister. We just gonna put it out there as plain as it is. Islam. So next scribe, Islam. If you would like to come forth, Brother Marvin Edwards Bey. Okay, I take our Brother Marvin Edwards Bey must be busy right now. So Islam. What we gonna do then is we gonna move forward with our measure. And we're going to get into these 99 names. So let me share the screen real quick. Okay. And we'll just deal specifically with this particular page right now and sharing it. And you can go and find the 99 names anywhere, but I just chose, this is a random page I chose here. And we'll go through some of them with their definition. And it actually gives some pretty good insight. So this is good too. This is Al-Rahman. Sometimes you'll see Al, A-L, or sometimes you will see A-R. And this is a universal rule going all the way back to Kemet or even in the Coptic language. Why is that so? Let's ask the scribes. They know why. Islam scribes. Why do you see Ar-Rahman sometime and then you see Ar-Rahman? A-R and A-L. Islam?
Islam, do the sound shifting.
That's right. Do the sound shifting. So when somebody see that, I remember I used to see that like, wait a minute. Why is it saying L? And this is before I had the knowledge of sound shifting. Why is it saying L and then it's saying R? I was confused. You see, thinking, wait a minute, is this, but the Rahman was the same. Rahim was the same. You see? But you go ahead, Grand Secretary.
I'm sorry, Dr. Shahid. Yeah, I had a question because when I was doing a recitation of the Al-Fatiha, and some things that has Al-Rahman or Al-Rahmani, and you had made a comment about that. Can you go into why we don't put that?
I know what you're saying. Why we don't put the I in the end? You know,
The double E
basically,
high, but yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. Sometimes they even have E, you know, or whatever. But you know, it's really basically not necessary, is what they say. You know what I mean? But it's always like when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim instead of Bismillah ar-Rahmani ar-Rah. You know what I mean? So that's basically, it's an isolation. But you know, some people, us in the English, do that. Sometimes you'll even see it in certain aspects, but it's really, you know, more of we can say what we call a tajweed, you know, proper expression as it deals with the Arabic itself when you're dealing with Quranic Arabic. Because you might see Rahmani being used in standard Arabic, modern standard Arabic in that particular way, Rahmani, you know, but you know, Rahman would be the proper way of saying it in the Quranic Arabic realm. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Gratitude.
And they still have, you know, the same meaning, so to speak, dealing with the mercy. Only thing distinguished between Allah's mercy and man's mercy is the use of the definite article or the exclusion of it. You see? So,
Gratitude.
gratitude. Yes, ma'am. And so if you go here, it's telling us that it means the beneficent, you know, which is also, you know, most gracious, you know, and then most merciful. He who wills goodness and mercy for all his creatures. So let's think about it. If Allah wills mercy, goodness and mercy for all of his creatures, and we say we are linking our will up with the deific will, then our will should be his will, right? So, you know, then I'm looking here, they even have a, you know, this is a good site, even though I didn't try to choose it on purpose. You know, they actually let you go and click into this demonstration, you know, and they go deeper into it. You know, he who wills goodness and mercy for all his creatures, Allah is Al-Rahman in Arabic. He is the one who blesses all his creation with prosperity and devoid from disparity. He is most merciful, kind, and loving towards all creation. His Rahmah is all inclusive and embraces all. You see? Yeah, so the son of Allah's blessings, you know, shine on everybody. So, you know, they go into a breakdown of this. We ain't gonna go all the way into that here, but this is a good area where, you know, it's going into, it's a lot of information in there, you know, so that it's gonna be the permanent site right here dealing with the attributes for me. But so same thing. We go into the word Rahim. You know, they have the same root, but they are two different words. One is dealing with grace, one dealing with mercy. And we understand what grace is and what mercy is. And it says, he who acts with extreme kindness, the merciful. You see, this is a law. How many men and women you see out here that got extreme kindness and act with it? How many you see demonstrating goodness and mercy for everybody? We can look at the current administration on the manifest, you know, in the Roman world and see the difference between that and what Allah got going on. Anything that our scribes would like to say about those two words before we move ahead? All right.
Can you hear me yet?
We can hear you now, Grand Man. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's my apparatus. Yeah, I'm not using my camera in sound, and this computer is going through some changes. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that you heard me because I was trying to get in earlier. Islam.
Yes, sir. Well, you can say your piece now.
Islam. Okay, well, I'll try. What I mean. I was just wanted to comment on the first. When you ask for comments or questions, and you were saying something that kind of really, really kind of hit me, so to speak. You talked about how Allah is ever beneficent and ever merciful, but man is limited. And I think my question is, isn't that as it should be, or can man go beyond his physical portion? I mean, Islam, can you hear me? Does that make any sense?
Yes, sir. I know what you're asking. Well, it's a choice. If we truly choose to manifest what Allah, is manifesting, right? We can strive to manifest in that way. But if we choose to be limited, then we can choose to remain limited. That's simple. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand what you're saying, and you're the teacher, and you're the teacher, but what I mean, if I could make myself clearer. So as long as we're in this physical form, can we still go beyond our physical limitations?
Yeah, it's the choice.
Simply by choosing. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's the choice. So, like I say, how Grand National Secretary, I'm going to put it in an even more simpler form. How Grand National Secretary of State say that we can reap in a scanty way?
Yes.
Or we can go into the fullness of unfoldment, so to speak. Reaping in a scanty way is, demonstrating these attributes on a basic level, right? Meaning just what they is. And it will be based upon our condition. For example, a man will be merciful until you make him mad. A woman will be merciful until you make them mad. You see what I'm saying? Or just based on the virtue, of one thinking within themselves, well, I don't want to go beyond what it is that I demonstrate. I chose to remain here. I'm as merciful as I can be, and that's what it is. We have a choice. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say we have a choice as to whether we're going to go beyond that, and that takes work. I said that earlier. That ain't something you just wake up and do. So that's like literally learning attribute by attribute and trying to embody that to where it becomes a part of your character. But how many people in fallen humanity thinking on a level like that? Because soon as the ethers change and the condition change, then their mindset changes. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I was saying what it was. But when Allah is merciful, he's ever merciful. He ain't changing that. Allah merciful whether you hard-headed or you ain't hard-headed. You see what I'm saying? He's still merciful toward you. Human beings are thinking on a human level. It's a choice as to whether we are able to act that way, but it's definitely possible. If you want to know that, yeah, it's possible for you to be ever mercy if you tune your mind in to be. You see,
yeah, okay.
Islam.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Islam.
Sister Curtis Bay. I'm glad that brother. I love that.
Yeah, I'm like, man, that's powerful. And I think because it's resonate with because I'm working on that now. And when you think about going beyond, and like you say, God, man, you can, and because there's no limit to the great God Allah. So however far you want to go, man, when my mind starts thinking about that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm trying to comprehend because see, Allah don't have no limits. See, you can't put him in a box. So however deep or however you want to call it, however far you want to put in the work, like you say, now this stuff, what we talking about don't happen no overnight. You got to be diligent. You got to work on this. But if you have the heart to seek after it, Allah take you however far you want to go. Oh man, gratitude, God, man, for that great question. I tell you, that's powerful right there. I love it. I love it. Islam.
Yeah,
Islam.
so we can ask the question: what you demonstrate, man's mercy or Allah's mercy? Islam. Go
You asking
ahead,
me, are you
Grand
asking me,
Secretary of
brother?
the State. No, sir. I'm just speaking to Sister Curta Bay, brother. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
Uh,
No, I thought you directed that to me.
no,
Okay.
I was just responding to Sister Curta Bay, brother. And but if you have anything to say, all is well. I'm just Grand
No.
Secretary of
Well,
State trying to get in here.
I wait till National Grand Secretary of State speak. Islam?
Yes, sir. Islam. Go ahead, Grand Secretary of State.
Islam. That's a powerful decree because the
We
first thing I
stirred up
thought
people.
was flesh divine and also fruition, because everything comes in degrees. And going back to chapter 1, not a word is lost. Islam.
Oh man, you said it. Flesh divine. If that ain't spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. See, when you assuming that God form and you demonstrating like that, you can't help but demonstrate the attributes like Allah did or like Allah does. And that's what we're talking about. Because in order for our people, and I said all the time, in order for our people to comprehend, the presence of Allah and bring it out of the realm of spookism, they got to see them attributes in you. And then we taught that when you look into the face of man, you're looking into the face of Allah. And the word that's used in expression of face in the Arabic is the word waj, which is actually wajet. In the Kemetic language, it deals with the all-seeing eye. You are seeing with the eyes of spirit, the eyes of soul, so to speak. So that wajet, is the word that's used where it said, no matter whether you turn toward the east or the west, Allah is ever present. And that word used for presence, who submits his whole self to Allah. That word for self and presence is waj. It's the inner being, the innermost being. You see? And so, you can't get no plainer than that right there. And then Allah breathing his ruh Allah in man, the spirit of Allah. So how much more evidence we need to know as far as dealing with us recognizing that we are one with him through deific tie. It's right there. Now, whether we want to be that, that's a whole nother mess. It's a choice. And like the chairman say, who made you? Well, Brother Edwards Bay, you want to come forth and finish your measure?
Islam of gratitude. Yes, sir. Absolutely. But first, rising. Yes, rising, giving all praises to the great God Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Give high honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. Give high honors to our Egg One. I give high honor to all of our officials. I give high honors to this class, our E.A.R.S class, as well as I give honor to our instructor and host, Dr. Chedua Mentiel Moheji Sepsuel, our national assistant, Grand Sheikh of Moorish America. I give honors to everything that is Moorish, and that's everything that the prophet brought to save us as a nation of people, so that fallen humanity may be saved from the wrath of Allah. I give honors to the forerunner of our prophet, Dr. Marcus Musegavi El, as well as I give honors to the ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon. We are the return of the ancient ones. I give honors to all our panel, all of the scribes on the panel, all of our family that's in the audience, so to speak, and gratitude. Man, it's a powerful class. And yeah, you're absolutely right. All of you are right. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think I was trying to say, I know we say that Allah is leading on, and I think that even though we can strive to do something, but it is Allah who actually does it. And so, no matter how much we want to do, to reach out to like some of our people and they don't want it. You're saying that Allah gonna make them do it unless he brings some wrath on them. I can understand that. But some things Allah is not gonna do. This is my viewpoint, my point of view, that Allah chooses whom He pleases to raise, and He sets down whom He pleases. Islam, I mean, that was just the point I was trying to get to. Whether I conveyed it thoroughly or effectively enough, I don't know. Islam, gratitude.
Yeah, we heard exactly everything you said, Grand Man. But one thing about Allah, Allah, definitely don't punish man in order to make man do what he want him to do. The Grand Quran say that. Now, but what Allah will do, a lot of time what man may perceive as chastisement and punishment may be mercy.
Ooh.
It's all about perspective.
Wow. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So if you choose to look at it as he chastising me, he punishing me, no, it may be a mercy. You never know.
Sir. Yes, sir.
But Allah knows best. And that's why we say Allah is leading on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
See?
Gratitude.
Yes, sir.
Gratitude. Appreciate
Gratitude, it. Brother. Yeah. Islam. Yep. So let me go.
Islam,
you see the word al-Malik.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother everybody?
No, you had cut off for a second, I thought.
Oh no, all is well. Yes, sir. Gratitude. So al-Malik is another word, and this word is often expressed as king. In general, they say king. And it goes deeper than that with Allah, because we know what an earthly king is as opposed to Allah. Here it tells you you're dealing with your sovereign Lord, the one with complete dominion, the one whose dominion is clear from imperfection. When many earthly kings have many imperfections, there is no imperfection in Allah being the sovereign Lord. His kingship is eternal. His kingdom is eternal. You see? This is the aspect of dealing with al-Malik. We're going to kind of run through them because we want to get through all 99, and then we'll open up even more. But al-Qudus means the most sacred, the most holy. This is the word, that was actually connected to, the Holy Spirit, Ruh al-Qudus, the angel Jibril, Ruh al-Qudus. You see, Ruh al-Amin, Ruh al-Qudus, was also mentioned in the birth of Masih, al-Masih, the Messiah, Yehoshua. You see, al-Qudus, one who is pure and so far removed of any imperfection. He has no shortcomings. Evil is not attributed to him. Now, you can be Malik, but you can't be al-Malik. You can be Qudus, but you can't be al-Qudus, because that's Allah in essence. You see, when you put that definite article on there. So we have all of these, and some attributes are not even mentioned in the book. You see, but these are some that have been mentioned in the Grand Quran, 99 of them to be exact. So you can strive to be one that's pure, and removed from imperfection. You can do that. That's what we were put here to do. All of us put here to do that. Here's one that we are very familiar with. As-salam. As-salam being the giver of peace, one who is free from every imperfection. Again, it is because he is free of any defect that one who is with him experiences tranquility. So when you have become of clarity and heart in your mind, of being peaceful, this is when true tranquility comes on the manifest, to the extent where you express Allah's attribute, as-salam. You become that, and you can give peace through your tranquility. See, this is what we talk about when we talk about Sebagatala. See, this is our path, immersing ourselves into, these attributes. And the more that we become the embodiment of them, then people will be able to bear witness to this. They can see the sacredness, in what we represent because we demonstrate that. They can see the tranquility and receive and experience tranquility because we give them peace by the way we demonstrate peace. You see? Then we see al-mu'min, the infuser of faith. Now, mu'min means the true believer in certain cases, or the faithful. You see? The one who witnessed for himself that there is no God but him. And for us to witness for ourselves that there is no God but the supreme reality, is basically time and time again, based upon our faith, the great God Allah show us that he is our redeemer. He is our deliverer. So this confirms what it is. We've been going through this, dealing with the supreme sign, and the traveler going on the journey. This is also that one can bear witness, to what it is that represents the supreme reality. And we understand that he is often expressed through his necessary existent presence by the things that we can bear witness to in reading the book of creation, or the Quran of the cosmos, so to speak. Infuser of faith, and he who witnessed for his believers that they are truthful in their belief and that no one is God but him. In other words, he the supreme reality. We link our will up with through deific will. And they're using the word God here, so don't get taken off and say, well, yeah, man is God, this and that there. Yeah, we already know that. But in this reference, we know that the supreme reality is Allah, and that is who is being referred to here. They use the word God for a lack of a better word, but the word God has always been referred to as a man. But that's neither here nor there. So, al-Muhaymin, it says the one who witnesses the saying and deeds of his creatures. Al-Muhaymin means the guardian. Allah is the guardian. Now, we may be able to mufti something, and stand on our posts and, guard, the way to the holy city or whatever the case may be, but Allah is the guardian. He is the one that allows us to become who it is that we are. So even if man will shrink away from being your guardian, if man may betray you, if a woman may betray you, if anybody, your family or anybody may betray you, Allah is your guardian. That's why we say Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. If nobody else don't protect you, Allah gonna protect you. So Al-Aziz, the mighty one, which is the strong, the defender who is not defeated. So you might have many mighty men that can be defeated, but you can't defeat Allah because he almighty. You see what I'm saying? I remember even when we used to be in the street organization, we would say almighty. That was one of the main things. Almighty don't like nobody, don't love nobody. And what we were saying is that, we was talking about the Most High. He ain't a respecter of person, ain't a lover of persons, so to speak. So when you get into the aspect of being the mighty one, Allah is the one that is more mighty than any man could be. We done seen many men that were mighty fall weak, be broken, some of them get took off the counter, whatever the case may be. But you can't do that to Allah. That's why he is Al-Aziz, Al-Jabbar. Al-Jabbar. Remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Al-Jabbar. It says the one that nothing happens in his dominion except that which he will. So you can't, outwill the great God Allah. He's the all compelling. He gonna make you submit to his will, even if you don't want to. So that's what makes Allah Jabbar, pardon himself. Al-Muqtabir, the dominant one, the one who is clear from the attributes of the creatures and from resembling them. So Allah's attributes trump everything in creation, but we are able to express those attributes by his permission. Al-Muqtabir. Al-Muqtabir, pardon self. And then we have Al-Khaliq, which is the creator. You know, the word Khalaq is used for creator in Quran. You know, all these attributes are in the Grand Quran too, by the way. The one who brings everything from non-existence into existence. See, there's a thing that deals with al-bari, you know, and al-khalaq. The word khalaq means bringing something into existence that had not previously existed. The word al-bari, you know, represents bringing to existence things that are coming from what is of existence. You see, that word body, as a matter of fact, they mention it right here, al-bari. The maker, the creator who has power, it says to turn the entities. The evolver, the maker. Al-Bari, Allah. You might create some, you know, but Allah is the one, you know, that truly allows you to create. Allah is the one that allows, you know, the evolutionary process. Him being the maker, you got to tap into his attributes. So even though scientists may go against what they like to call religion, you know, they can't do nothing without the permission of Allah. You know, we can't do nothing but we can't create nothing, you know, or govern nothing without the permission of Allah. You see, Al-Musawwir, right? Al-Musawwir, the flawless shaper, the one who forms his creature in different pictures, right? So we might shape something and it may be a flaw in it, but when Allah brings about his ability to shape something and mold something, you know, through his attribute Al-Musawwir, it's on point. Al-Ghaffar, the great forgiver, the one who forgives the sins of his slaves time and time again. Show me a man that's gonna forgive you. You know, and we already seen a slave master and they still try to enslave our people now. Show me somebody that's willing to forgive somebody over and over and over again. Man's forgiveness is based on limitations. El-Qahhar, the all-prevailing one, the dominant, the one who has the perfect power and is not unable over anything. So everything that Allah chooses to manifest come to pass through his attribute Al-Qahhar. Now remember, we have the ability to tap into all of these things, but this is the goal of Sibagatala, to practice. You know, this is what we should be trying to do. Manifest love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Be love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know, those are 5 attributes in the basic level that's mentioned in governing our nation. You know, if we can just deal with them 5, you know, then all is well. This is where we are going beyond the senior course, so to speak, when we get into trying to, you know, really embody these attributes that we're talking about. Al-Wahhab, the supreme bestower, the one who is generous in giving plenty without any return. He is everything that benefits, whether halal or haram, because Allah's reservoir, you know, doesn't run out. You know, he doesn't have limitations on what he would give us. You know, he don't have fears. If I give this, I'm going to lose that. This is gone, you know, because he the supreme bestower. You know what I mean? So, Al-Razak, the total provider, the sustainer, the provider. Allah is the one that provides, even if the provision is coming through somebody else. You see, when you go to work and you work a job, you know, Allah is the one that provides, not the individual that you are working for. You see, the individual that think that they are the one that's giving you, it is Allah that provide, because he gave to them to allow you them to provide. In fact, he says that when he gives to a people and he give them more than what others have, he give to them so that they may be able to provide. So Allah is the provider, the total provider. Al-Fatah, the solver, the reliever, the judge, the one who opens for his slaves the closed worldly religious matters. Closed worldly and religious. So Allah is the one that opens up the way for you. You know, some people like to call it a breakthrough. You know, Allah is the one that solve it and relieve and is the judge. Regardless of what man may be trying to hold back, or what man is unwilling to aid and assist in, or what man assist in, it's up to Allah, you know, to be the opener. You know, so also Al-Alim, the all-knowing one, the knowledgeable. It says, the one nothing is absent from his knowledge. You know, Al-Alim. You know, this word we talk about all the time too, knowledge. Al-Qabid, which is the constructor, the withholder, the one who constricts the sustenance by his wisdom and expands and widens it with his generosity and mercy. So we see Allah being restricting, and we say after every difficulty come ease in most cases. He may withhold and constrict the situation through his wisdom because he see what you don't see, and then he expands and he widens it with his generosity and mercy. You see, so he ain't just the constrictor or the restrictor. You know, it's all a part of his plan to manifest what's even greater. Sometimes to teach you, you know, what's going on, because in most cases when you're at your worst, that's when you get abandoned. You know, and when you're at the highest, that's when everybody is present. You know, but Allah is always leading on. You know, Al-Basit, the enlarger, the one who constricts the sustenance by his wisdom, expands and widens it with his generosity and mercy, the extender, the same drawing. So this has to do with, you know, one's perseverance and so forth and so on. Al-Kafid, the abaser, the one who lowers whoever he will by his destruction and raises whoever he will by his endowment. You know, so this is Allah. You know, he has the ability to abase you or elevate you according to his will, the reducer. Al-Rafi, the exalter, the elevator, the one who lowers whoever he will by his destruction and raises whoever he will by his endowment. So Allah does never take away a thing from a believer, as is stated, unless he intends greater for them or better for them, or replacing, you know, that situation or something with something better. The elevating one, Al-Rafi. So it says Al-Mu'iz, he gives esteem to whoever he will, hence there is no one to degrade him, the honorer, the bestower, and he degrades whoever he will, hence there is no one to give him esteem. You see, so Allah is the one who bestows honor. He is the one that takes away honor. Al-Muzil, the dishonorer, the humiliator, he gives esteem to whoever he will, hence there is no one to degrade him. So no matter how bad somebody try to abase you, if Allah don't abase you, they can't do it. And he degrades whoever he will, you know, so hence there's no one to give him hold up, let's see, esteem. So Al-Sami, the hearer, the one who hears all things that are heard by his eternal hearing without an ear, instrument, or organ. He's the all hearer. You know, whereas we may have some selective hearing. We can hear only what we want to hear. You see, Allah hears even when you don't say it out loud. You see, the all-seeing, Basir, Al-Basir, the all-noticing, the one who sees all things that are seen by his eternal seeing without a pupil or any other instrument, the all-seeing, Al-Basir. That's Allah. He can see everything. He knows what's in your heart. You know, he can see, you know, even the things of futurity, so to speak, that you ain't even manifested yet. Al-Hakam, the judge. He is the ruler and the judge. He is the ruler, and his judgment is his word. His judgment is his word. The impartial judge. He ain't judging based on, discrimination and who he don't like and why he don't like you and all that type of stuff. Allah's judgment is always just. El Adil, which is the embodiment of justice, the just, the one who is entitled to do what he does, justice. And we know Allah's justice is very different than man's justice. El Latif, the knower of subtleties, the subtle one, the gracious one, who is kind to his slaves and endows upon them. Al Kabir, the all-aware one, the one who knows the truth of things. Al Halim, the clement one, the forbearing, the one who delays the punishment for those who deserve it, and he might forgive them. So this is all powerful in these attributes. Al Azim, the great one, the mighty one, the one deserving the attributes of exaltment, glory, extolment, purity from all imperfection, the magnificent one. We can embody all these. We can study them in 7-day cycles. Think about that. Just 7 days of expressing the attributes of Allah, one by one. The ones that you choose to try to embody, and just go through cycles of doing that, to the way they become a part and parcel of the character. If that ain't character building, we don't know what it is. Al Ghafur, the all forgiving, the forgiving, the one who forgives a lot. And we know Allah forgive us a lot, right? Ash-Shakur, we know this name because this is actually where the brother Tupac's name come from, Shakur. On Dear Mama, you hear him say, "You are appreciated." You know what I mean? He was actually referring to that attribute of his family. The grateful, the appreciative, the one who gives a lot of reward for a little obedience, acknowledging one. It also means to be thankful. There you go, Al Ali, which is where our holy prophet's name come from. The sublime one, the most high, the one who is clear from the attributes of all the creatures, so to speak. Al Ali, our prophet is Ali, Allah is Al Ali. Al Kabir, the great one, the most great. And they say, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Surely Allah is the greatest, besides whom there is none other. That's what that is. Al Kabir, Allahu Akbar, Kabir, the most great, the one who is greater than everything in status. So you may think you great. Muhammad Ali was, one of the ones that would state, "I'm the greatest." But that really came from understanding that greatness came from the Allah that was working through it. He was claiming it almost like a manifestation and a mantra. "I'm the greatest." You express that right there. You have some God conscience. You can bring a lot on the manifest. El Hafiz, the preserver, the protector, the one who protects whatever and whoever he will to protect. The guardian one. So if man don't protect you, if your people don't protect you, your family don't protect you, Allah is going to be your protector. Al-Muqit, the sustaining one, the maintainer, the gardener, the feeder, the one who has the power. You see? Al-Hasib, the reckoning one, the reckoner, the one who gives the satisfaction. You see? Al-Jalil, the majestic one, the sublime one, the beneficent one, the one who is attributed with greatness and power and glory of status. So you might have, these characteristics, but Allah is the true majestic one. Al-Karim, the generous one, the gracious, the one who is attributed with greatness of power and glory of status as well, the bountiful one. Kareem, that was one of the names of Prophet Muhammad. You know, also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? Al-Raqib, the watchful one, the watcher, the one that nothing is absent from him. He see it all. Hence, its meaning is related to the attribute of knowledge. The more you know, the more you grow. But it says Al-Mujib, the responsive, the hearkener, the one who answers the one in need if he asks him, and rescues the yearn if he calls upon him, the responding one. You know, Al-Mujib. Al-Wasi, the all-pervading one, the vast, the all-embracing, the knowledgeable. Yeah, this is, you know, one that pervades over every situation. Al-Hakim, the wise, the judge of judges, the one who is correct in his doings. You know, Al-Hakim, wisdom, the wise one. You may have some wisdom, but that wisdom that speaks from on high, coming from the wise one, yeah, that's coming from Allah, Al-Hakim. Al-Wadud, the loving one, the most loving and most affectionate, the beloved. Wadud, Al-Wadud. Al-Majid, the glorious one, the most glorious one, the one who is with perfect power, high status, compassion, generosity, and kindness. The glorious one. Al-Majid. Al-Ba'ith, the infuser of new life, the awakener, the resurrector, the arouser. You see, that's Allah. Al-Shahid, the all-observing witness, the one who nothing is absent from him. Islam. Al-Haq, the embodiment of truth. The true, the one who truly exists. We know man himself is the truth. But Allah is the supreme embodiment of what the truth is through us if we allow him to be. Al-Wakil, the universal trustee. The trustee, the one who gives the satisfaction is relied upon. You see? That's a powerful demonstration. That sounds like executive rulers there if we embody that attribute. Al-Qawi, the strong one, the most strong, the one with complete power. Al-Mateen, the one with extreme power, which is uninterrupted and he does not get tired, the firm one. Al-Wali, you know, and Wali is what Abraham was said to be to Allah, or those who are special to Allah. You never know who the Wali of Allah is, and you definitely don't want to offend them according to the science of Islamism. Don't nothing good come by playing with the Wali of Allah but some karma. The protecting friend, the supporter. Wali. Al-Hamid, the soul, the laudable one, praiseworthy. The praised one who deserves to be praised. And this is actually connected to the name Muhammad. You know, Hamid, Hamed. You know, then you have Al-Musi, the all enumerating one, the counter, the reckoner, the one who count of things are known to him. He takes account of it. Al-Mubdi, the originator, the one who started the human being. That is, he created him. Al-Mubdi. Then we have Al-Mu'id, the restorer, the reproducer, the one who brings back the creatures after death. You know, we can reproduce, reproductive, but Allah is the one that restores, you know, life after one had been dead. And that can be physically, mentally, and spiritually, whichever way you want to look at it. Al-Muhi, the maintainer of life, the restorer, the giver of life. You know, Allah can maintain us and restore and give us life in many ways. Al-Muhmit, the inflictor of death, the creator of death, the destroyer, the one who renders the living dead. Al-Hayy, the eternally living one, the alive, the one attributed with a life that is unlike our life and is not that of combination of soul, flesh, and blood. Al-Hayy. Al-Qayyum, the self-subsisting one, the self-existing one, upon whom all others depend. Powerful. Al-Wajid, the pointing one, the perceiver, the finder, the rich one, who is never poor. Al-Wajid is richness. Al-Majid, the glorious, he who is most glorious, the all-noble one. Al-Wahid, the only one, the unique, the one without a partner. Remember somebody was trying to say Wahid means one of. But anyway, Al-Ahad, which means the sole one, because that word Ahad is connected to Wahad as well, the one. So you can't say Ahad or Wahid dealing with one of, that's dealing with the supreme reality. As-Samad, the supreme provider, the eternal, the independent, the master who is relied upon in matters and reverted to one's needs. He is the only one a person should turn to when feeling helpless. As-Samad. Al-Qadir, the all-powerful. You know, that's also what we say, Kuhu Allah Samad, Lam Yalid, Lam Yulad, Lam Yakun Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. You know, Sarati Ikhlas, the purifier. It says the all-powerful, Al-Qadir, the able, the capable, the one attributed with power. Al-Muqtadir, the powerful, the dominant, the one with the perfect power that nothing is withheld from him, the all-authoritative one. Al-Muqaddim, the expecting one, the expediter, the promoter, the one who puts things in their right places. That's where your alignment comes from. Expedite the process. Al-Muqaddim. As-Samad Al-Muqaddim. Al-Muqahir, the delayer, the postponer, he who puts far away. He makes ahead what he wills and delays what he wills. Alhamdulillah. Al-Awwal, the very first, the one whose existence is without a beginning. Al-Awwal, that's Allah. Al-Akhir, the infinite last one, the last, the one whose existence is without an end. Az-Zahir, the perceptible, the manifest, the conspicuous, the evident. Al-Batin, the imperceptible, the hidden, the secret one, the inner one, the knower of hidden things. Al-Batin is actually referred to as esoteric knowledge as well, grand people and Moors. You know, and Al-Zahir is actually the manifest exoteric, the outer. So this is the inner and this is the outer. So if you hear Al-Batin, Al-Zahir, you know, that also refers to those things, the hidden and the manifest. Al-Wali, the holder of supreme authority, the governor, the one who owns things and manages them. Sound like a creator and a governor of me. Supreme authority right there. El and Bay all up in there, huh? Al-Mutali, the extremely exalted one. See, the Ali is still connected in Mutali. Most exalted, high exalted, the one who is clear from the attributes of creation. Al-Bar, the fountain head of truth, the source of all goodness, righteousness, the one who is kind to his creature. Called root is root, faithful foundation, pure activation. Huh? Al-Tawab, the ever acceptor of repentance. So Tawab means, you know, to repent, to turn away, but Allah is the acceptor of that repentance. Allah is all forgiving and acceptor of our return. Mun Takim, the retaliator, the avenger, the disapprover, the inflictor of retribution. You know, that's Allah. Can't nobody retaliate like Allah. Al-Afu, the supreme partner, the forgiver, and the eliminator of sins. Al-Ra'uf, the benign one, the most kind and tenderly pardon himself, merciful, clement, and compassionate. Allah. Mukul Muk, the eternal possessor of sovereignty. We see the word, Malik connected to that. The one who controls the dominion and gives dominion to whoever he will. Dul Jalil, the possessor of majesty and honor. The Lord of majesty and bounty. Al-Muqsit, the just one, the equitable one, the one who is just in his judgment. Al-Jami, the assembler of scattered creations, the gatherer, the one who gathers the creatures on the day that there is no doubt about that there's a day of judgment. You can't gather, man. Allah definitely can. Al-Ghani, the self-sufficient one, the one who does not need the creation. People think Allah need them to worship him. It says Al-Mughni, the enricher, the emancipator, the fulfiller of needs, the bestower of wealth. That would correspond with the principle of freedom, huh? Al-Mani, the withholder, the preventer. We already know what that is. And it ain't always a bad thing. Ad-Dar, the distresser, the corrector, the balancer, the distresser, the afflictor, the punisher. Then we have Al-Nafi, the bestower of benefits, the creator of good, the benefitter, the propitious, the auspicious, bestower of benefits. Al-Nafi, Allah. An-Nur, the prime light, the one who guides. An-Nur. There's a surah in the Quran, Surah 24. Al-Hadi. This is what the word Mahdi actually corresponds. The provider of guidance. Mahdi means rightly guided one. But you can't be rightly guided if the guidance ain't been provided by Allah. The guide, the leader, the right guide of the right path. That's why we say Allah is lead on and victory is sure. Al-Hadi, Al-Badi, the unique one, the wonderful originator, the unprecedented and incomparable inventor, the unique one, Al-Badi. Al-Baqi, the ever-surviving one, the everlasting, the ever-enduring, the ever-present, ever-surviving one. Everybody else might die, and go to their demise, but Allah gonna remain. Al-Warith, the eternal inheritor, here, one whose existence remains. This is where our brother Waradeen Muhammad name came from. Warith. But anyway, Al-Rashid. I got a cousin I met, at my aunt's birthday party, and he's, definitely a part and parcel of Islam. And his name is Rashid, the guide to the right path, the one who guides. As-Sabur, this deal with patience, extensively enduring one, the patient, the one who does not quickly punish the sinners. And so that's all 99 of the names, and took a little bit of time to go over it, but y'all get the gist of it. Y'all see this website right here, myislam.org, because like I said, it got a lot more in it when you can go into these attributes and really look at them. But if we are dealing with the methodology of Sebagatullah, being our tariqat, our path to Allah, then it is to immerse ourselves in these divine attributes and try to express them, try to live them, try to manifest them. And we should go into the realm of where we recite them, and call them forth, as mantras, so to speak. So that being said, we're going to open up the floor, so that we can close this demonstration out. And want to hear from our scribes and see what they have to say. And we'll go from there. Islamism without the schism. We're going to call forth our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Hatshepsut Rakat Mahat and Putu to come and Bay. Islam. You there, Goddess and Queen?
Close as a thought. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Definitely was trying to keep up, but I tell you, this is a powerful demonstration with the 99 attributes. I definitely look forward to going in these for memorization and also building Arabic vocabulary. It's just powerful because I definitely want to go into even further definition as opposed to the names, to learn more about button, to go even deeper and do the research. So gratitude more for bringing these forth and also learning the Arabic lettering of how to put the word together. Powerful class. Gratitude. Peace and love.
Gratitude to you as well. Peace and love, Grand Secretary of the State. And is our chairman present as well? He would like to come forth and give a measure. Dr. Acton Pert M. Heru to the coming Bay. He know who made him, and he know how to express these attributes.
Islam?
There you go, Islam, Grand Man.
Oh man, let's give praises to Allah and honor to the last prophet these days and time. It's just a powerful journey, and just can't help but just loving this grand master message, man, and dealing with these 7 attributes of Allah. I'm sorry, 7. I'm sorry, the whole 99. But the thing about it is that Allah is just everything. And this is the way that the Prophet brought it to us. So it's just a powerful journey more. And I feel so this bring out the mufti and everybody. So thank you. Islam is without a schism. Peace and blessings.
Islamism without the schism. 9 times 9 is 81, and 8 plus 1 is 9. And you told us 9 is re-entry. So the attributes got to come through us, Grand Man, if we know who made us. Islamism without the schism. That's Aliism. Gratitude, Moorish kin, to our Grand National Chairman of the Tribe of Endurance. And at this time, we're going to open up the floor to our other scribes. Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam. Dr. Dendra Near Curta Bay honors is already being given. Gratitude, God, man, for going over those names for us. And I see that they have the little icon over there where I can click on it if I forget the pronunciation of it and hear how to pronounce it. But very powerful, very powerful. I can remember asking, telling the great, well, I call him God at that time when I was in the Piscine area. And this guy named Fred Hammond, he come out with this song, but I want to know your name. And I used to always say, God, I want to know your name so I can just please you each and every day. I just want to know you, get to know you deeper and deeper. And lo and behold, back, and you might remember some of them, Dr. Shaheed, we had the Hebrew names like Jehovah Jireh, my provider, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Raha. One of them was for healing. I forgot them now because it's been so long. But we had the names even then trying to understand the great God of love. But look where I am now. Man, wow. That I'm learning the 99 attributes of Allah. And when you was going over them, and I can even click on them and read a little more, go deeper, into what his name means. Oh man, you already know. I'm about to fly off the hell up here. I'm so excited. I'm having fun, God man. I'm having fun. Gratitude for this powerful class. Islam.
And gratitude for the measure goddess and queen, because they use 72 names, in the Hebrew. But remember,
Oh, they did.
Even in Islam, though, it's not even limited to the 99.
Right.
That's just the ones that were given. Like I said, there are some that were mentioned and some that wasn't mentioned to us.
Oh, okay.
So when you go into that aspect and go into the 72 names, that's mentioned in the Hebrew, then that's a whole nother aspect of the attributes and so forth and so on.
That's 72, 7, 8, 9. Ain't that 9?
Go. See what I'm saying?
It
ain't strange.
It ain't strange.
Entry again.
Islam. Gratitude.
That's all them through us. Yeah, El Shaddai.
Yeah.
We seen them. All them different terminology that was used. Al-Rab.
Yeah, I remember them.
Rabbi and they Al-Rabi as they call it. But yeah, they got a whole bunch of them.
Right.
And some of them are very much the same as the ones that we demonstrate here.
Yeah.
If you go into the strong words of them.
Right.
So Allah is leading on. But like I say, we won't have a homework assignment because this is the last one. But you go on and you can study these things, and like I said, they expand the vocabulary because the study of these things are going to link up in the chain of the other information, and you'll end up becoming more knowledgeable along the way. It's going to become times where you can hear somebody speaking, if they talking about Quranic Arabic, and you'll pick up on exactly what they're saying. I know I was able to do that during the time of even 9/11 with some words. Modern and Quranic Arabic is different, but it's still some words that carry similar meaning.
Right.
So, and then we got the other book that deal with the modern standard Arabic too. Though we don't get into that too deep. That's something you study on your own, but it's an app that deal with that as well, if that's what somebody want to learn. But having a foundation, it'll be easy to learn because you already know, the Arabic alphabet. That's universal.
Gratitude.
So gratitude. Well, all right. Next, Muslim.
Islam.
Islam, Scribe.
Islam. And when they're looking at the like you said, that I wanted to hint to was that these are just 99 of the, sometimes if you get the book, it will say the most beautiful names. And so that does entail that there's more there. But it also reminds me of when in the Moorish Holy Quran where it says man names a part of Allah that he sees. So now that we have 99 names, we can see the portion of Allah. When we see this in the manifest, this is the portion of Allah that is vibrating to us at that time. Not saying that you're missing the all of Allah, but this is just the portion that is more prevalent at that point in time. And so then we can attach it, put a name to it, do some more research on it, and see the enhancing qualities of that state. And then that's another thing. When the prophet was talking about the state of North Carolina, well, now we see the state of different portions of Allah, in the measure in our lives. You know what I'm saying? And this is also how we can be more aware in having Allah. And another thing that I want to hint at was instead of I forgot where I got. There's a brother. He was talking. Yeah, there's this brother on Rio. And he was saying how everybody talk about they successful. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna be successful. But you didn't put a lie in it. He says, you know what I'm saying? Ask Allah for success in what you do, and you are bound to succeed. A lot of us think it's just by your own will, and it's never. Nothing that we do is really by our own will. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the will to get it done and the will to vibrate in that present of success is. It's also in the Fatiha where it says, come fast to success, come fast to success. We can see when these attributes are uttered, the success in that attribute. And we can see that we are aligning in that, in the will. So that's just my measure. Islam, peace and love.
Yes, sir. Islam, peace and love. That's actually part and self to the Adhan. To come to success, come to success. Hayalea Falak, Hayalea Salat, when they call it. But we understand exactly where you're coming from, grand man. And for those who don't know the Adhan, it was Bilal, a Sabian, who Allah recognized that from. If Bilal didn't call it, Allah said the prayer wasn't valid. They don't talk about that too much. That's what those who don't know what the Adhan is, that's what was called, or it's called every day before prayer, before making the prayer. The Adhan was also featured on Malcolm X movie. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Hayya Salat, Hayya Salat, Hayya Falak, Hayya Falak, Hayya, and then you repeat that again. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. And that's their Adhan. But come to prayer and come to success. We got it. We give honors to you, brother Bati Bey. But also we just say gratitude to the scribes, man, because we have put out a wealth of information as a collective here together. Well, all right, brother Marvin Edwards Bey, if you're there, it's your measure.
Islam, can you hear me, good brother?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Gratitude. I am here. Most powerful class, God, man. Very powerful class. And for me, it, I can't recall whether that was an attribute of the oft reminder. Like I said, this was on 99, and there are more. So the oft reminder reminded me just how humble I need to be, and how much I don't know, and so I have to remain humble and willing to learn, and which is a beautiful thing. I mean, this is what we are taught. We probably say, study the self, and when you have studied the self well, then we'll ask, what's to study? Study the self. So it's all about that, you know what I mean? So I'm so grateful for being in this, in my Moorish American government, for being in this class, this E.A.R.S class, for being, with the faithful ones, and striving to continue to be faithful, because one can fall off any moment, any day, if they're not working towards staying, working towards elevating, and being humble. That's a prerequisite, for me. And gratitude for all that you do in this Moorish American government. Gratitude to all the scribes for all they do in this Moorish American government. And gratitude to those that's listening in the audience, because their presence, not seeing them, giving comments or whatever until I say go to YouTube or something like that, but knowing that they're there, the silent, silent ones, so to speak, from this point of view. It's just a beautiful thing, and just thinking about, the unfoldment. We're all unfolding. You know what I mean? And it is Allah who makes that possible. We put forth an effort, but it's Allah who awards us, through our efforts. And I'm just grateful. Man, just trying, just willing to stay grateful, and being humble. That's the most important thing for me at this time, because, I can try to do good, or I think I'm doing good, but then again, sometimes we could be enablers. You know what I mean? So, I know that I need to be silent, and listen to the great God, and to pay attention to what He is telling me, because He's always communicating to me. So that's where I'm at, right now. Trying to hear the great God Allah, through my Moors as well, because He's speaking to us. He speaks to man through man as well. And so, gratitude for the class, God, man. Appreciate all your efforts, and yeah, give me a call, after class. I try to call you before class, but gratitude for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
Islam and peace. Yeah, this phone crazy, Mo. I called you back, and they probably didn't recognize you, because it be doing that sometimes. I think that's the first time you called me from that phone. And sometimes, from what I'm seeing, like everybody that called me for the first time, it don't come through. But then after that, they get it. And I experienced that a couple of times too.
Islam, well, yeah, I did hear it. I heard you call, but I was in a different area, and then I called you back. And then that's when I looked online. You know what I mean? I saw that you had sent it. I figured you was sending out the invite. So
gotcha. Okay, Islam. Yes, sir. Gratitude, and just to use a little Moorish humor, you talked about that reminder, and in our teaching, that would be the hammer of repetition. Look right there.
It's right there all the time, right in front of the face, right?
Yes, sir. And so we know within ourselves, right, all of these tools are used in the workshop of the mind.
Yes,
the
sir.
chairman up in there, the prophet first and foremost up in there,
right?
The sheik up in there, and the prophet is the one, once you go up the 12-step ladder and you make your way up, but the sheik is definitely there, that hand class of unity, you and I tie, and the assistant grand sheik right there, that hammer.
You sure know.
Yeah, that national grand mufti. You know what I mean? So, all us up in the National Secretary of Moorish America, right there, that balance.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we got them in us, that mufti, that square that's going to keep that conduct square.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Silent brotherhood of swift angels, that's the compass. They going to draw that circle around them passions and desires and keep them within the bounds of righteousness.
Most definitely.
Divine minister, that's the line that's the line uniting divinity of the matter. And the national treasurer of Moorish America, dealing with all them sciences of Islamism. That's the generational wealth right there. The chisel and the saw, all that come into play when we're trying to cut, the knot away. But we give honors to you, grand man.
That's true.
Your brief rendition of the 42 paths of Moorish wisdom.
Wow. Islam.
Yeah, coming from on high. So, I just wanted to share that right there, grand man. Peace and love. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and go to our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam. January 15, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or a group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government, the prophet, or violates the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting has now been officially adjourned according to Act 2, the Circle 7, in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, Moors. Great class. Islam.
Gratitude. Peace
Gratitude.
and love.
Gratitude, peace and love, family.
Islam.
Islam, Moors. We love you, Scribes.
Islam.
Love y'all.
We love y'all.
No.
Love
See
you
y'all
more.
in Sunday school.
Islam.
Yes, sir.
And we give honor to our Moorish kin for checking in. We pardon the technical difficulties too. We'll get them corrected. Mashallah. Sister Sina Renee and Tarif Bey, we give honors to y'all for checking in. Islam.
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 All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love.